If you're struggling to find, attract, and hire top talent, your hiring process may be broken, but that's okay. Here's how AI can fix it for you. If the thought of having to hire another person is draining the energy from your life, you're not alone. Listen, I get it. You're spending 15, 20 hours a week scrolling through LinkedIn, reviewing resumes, scheduling interviews, and writing the same outreach messages over and over and over again. That's more than half of your work week. And what do you have to show for it? You have a pipeline full of maybes and a calendar full of interviews with people who just don't quite fit. And the roles that you've been working on, they've been open for 60, 90, 100 plus days. Meanwhile, the work that actually matters, building relationships with your clients, developing top talent, working with your team, creating more business strategy, it's not getting done because you're buried in the grind of hiring. But what if I told you that AI can not only handle 80% of that grunt work, but do it better than you've ever done it manually? That's right. In this video, I'm going to be highlighting the 5 key places where hiring actually breaks down and exactly how AI fixes it. Not only will you be able to reclaim those 15 plus hours a week, but you'll find candidates that you've never been able to find on your own, and you'll interview fewer people and hire better fits. Not to mention, you'll make hires that actually stick. You ready to get started? Let's go. So let's start with your challenges. If hiring feels like an exhausting hamster wheel, constant motion, but no real progress, there are specific reasons why. It's not you, it's probably your system. Let me walk you through the 5 biggest time sinks and the biggest frustrations within traditional hiring. I guarantee you at least 3 of these will hit home. So here's your first problem. You post a job, you wait for applications, you get dozens of resumes. The person you want to hire, they're just not in the pile. Why? Well, because exceptional talent, the top 20%, they're not actively job hunting. They're employed, they're doing well, they're not checking job boards. So you're fishing in a pond that's missing most of the fish. The result, you spend hours reviewing applications from active job seekers, knowing deep down that your ideal candidate probably isn't even seeing your posts. It's not that the applications are bad, it's that you're only accessing the bottom 20 to 30% of all available talent. And that just means more time screening, more interviews that don't pan out, and more roles that stay open way longer than they should. Which brings me to challenge number 2. So even when you do reach great candidates, there's another hurdle. Your job description, it looks like everyone else's. Generic requirements, buzzwords, corporate speak. It says nothing. Here's the problem. When a talented product manager or an engineer is looking at 10 similar job postings, nothing makes yours stand out. They scroll right past it. Or worse, they apply to your competitor's role because something in their job description really resonated with them. Look, it's not like you're trying to write a bad job description. You're just working with an outdated template. It's not designed to attract the right people. And the result? Lower response rates, longer time to fill, and more hours spent trying to source candidates who should have come to you. That leads me to challenge number 3. Let's say you get hundreds of applications. Now you need to narrow it down to 10 interviews. So you start screening. Do they have the right years of experience? Have they worked in the right industry-related companies? Do they show measurable results or the achievements in which I'm looking for? That takes several hours just to get through that pile. And here's what's frustrating. You know you're probably missing really good candidates. There's someone in there that doesn't have the right traditional background. They could be amazing, but you pass right over them. Maybe you glance at that career switcher with the transferable skills, but no, you just go right over them. Look, traditional screening is a blunt instrument. It's fast, but it is not precise. And the time you spend second guessing yourself, should I have looked at that resume more closely? It starts to add up. So let's talk about challenge number 4. So here's a problem that adds weeks to your hiring process. Your hiring manager is interviewing multiple candidates for the same role, but asks each one completely different questions. They're winging it. They're following their gut and they're improvising in the moment. Then when it's decision time, you're comparing apples to oranges. Here's your mistake. Believing that an experienced interviewer can just tell who's good. But without consistent questions, you're not measuring anything. You're collecting random impressions. The result? Your debrief meetings go in circles, extra interview rounds because nobody knows what's going on and no one feels confident. And that role just stays open forever. Let's move on to challenge number 5. And here's maybe the most frustrating part. You make a hire, 6 months later, they're struggling. And here's the question. Could you have predicted the outcome based on what you saw during the interview process? And for most companies, the honest answer is no. And that's because you just don't track the interview signals that actually predict good performance. You just keep interviewing the same way, hoping this time it works out. You're guessing, and sometimes you guess right, and sometimes you don't. And that uncertainty means more time spent on hiring, more bad hires, and that you have to replace, and the cycle will continue. Okay, We've now touched on 5 major challenges with 5 massive time sinks. Now, if you're nodding along right now, then I know what I'm about to show you is going to change everything, because AI addresses every single one of these challenges and gives you back 20 to 30 hours per week. So let's dive into the solutions. Here's what makes this moment different from any other time in recruiting. AI doesn't just speed up your broken process, it actually fixes the underlying problem. And I'm going to show you exactly how, challenge by challenge, solution by solution. So let's start with solution number 1. Remember that problem of only reaching active job seekers? Well, here's how AI solves it. Tools like customized AI agents or even ChatGPT paired with a LinkedIn search can find out what people have actually done, not just what's in their job title. So instead of searching for that senior software engineer and getting 10,000 generic results, you can search for something so specific, something like find engineers who scaled backend systems to handle 1 million plus daily users. Now, depending on what software, what tools, or LLM you're using, the AI will search across a number of different databases, things like GitHub, LinkedIn, technical articles, and the open web. The result? You now get 40 to 50 qualified candidates in just a matter of seconds. Candidates you have never found manually. So what used to take you 6-7 hours of LinkedIn scrolling now takes you just a matter of minutes. And now you're reaching the full talent pool, not just the bottom 20% who are actively looking. That brings me to solution number 2. You want to solve that blending in problem. Well, AI helps you figure out what actually resonates with your ideal candidates. So here's the process. You feed AI information about your top performers, what they say they value about the role, what attracted them to join the role in the first place, perhaps their career goals and their motivations. Then you ask AI to write a job description that speaks directly to people like them. Instead of generic requirements and buzzwords, you get an extremely specific and impactful job description. The difference is night and day. Companies using AI-optimized job descriptions typically see 2 to 3 times higher response rates from qualified candidates. So instead of tweaking generic templates for 2, 3, 4, or 5 hours, you get a compelling description in just a matter of minutes. And you attract better candidates, which means less time screening the wrong people. Now let's talk about solution number 3. Remember the 2 to 3 hour screening marathon we talked about earlier? Here's where you get major time back. AI can screen hundreds of resumes in the time that takes you to screen just a handful. And it can spot things that you would never ever pick up. Traditional screening looks for keywords, years of experience, company names. AI-assisted screening looks for things like evidence of impact, problem-solving patterns, transferable skills, and desired career paths. Not to mention, skills assessments or prompts can score candidates on actual competencies. They can flag high potential or non-traditional candidates and rank by fit for your specific role. So here's what this looks like in practice. You upload, let's say 100 resumes, AI will rank them by fit in just a matter of minutes. You review the top 20 and you interview the top 10. Time saved, 2 to 3 hours of manual screening becomes just 15 minutes of reviewing AI ranked results. And you're less likely to miss that hidden gem with the unconventional background. So let's talk about solution number 4. To fix the interview chaos, AI can provide structure without making it feel robotic. So before the interview, AI can generate a customized brief for each candidate in just a matter of seconds. Look at things like their key achievements, potential concerns to probe, or relevant background questions. You walk in prepared. No more scrambling to research the candidates. Now, during the interview, be sure to record or use a recording tool or AI note taker to record and transcribe. You should be flagging for key moments and ensure that you cover all of your must-ask questions. So after the interview, AI will create a structured summary. It'll score across all of your competencies and create a comparison to all the other candidates in a consistent format. So when your team debriefs, you're comparing apples to apples. You're not comparing vague impressions. 30 minutes of prep per interview becomes just a matter of minutes. Debrief meetings cut from 45 minutes to just 15 minutes. And this leads to better decisions because everyone is working with the same information consistently. And finally, solution number 5. Remember making that hire that just didn't quite work out and wondering if you could have known earlier? Well, this is a game changer for getting off the hamster wheel. AI can analyze your past hiring data and show you patterns that you'd never see manually. And here's how it works. You feed AI interview assessments from past candidates. Look at things like performance reviews, data on who stayed, who left, who got promoted. Then you ask, what interview signals correlated with top performers and what predicted early turnover? The insights will blow your mind. I actually had a client that discovered candidates who asked detailed questions about the tech stack were 3 times more likely to stay past 2 years, something they never thought to track. And I had another client that discovered that a certain industry background was actually outperforming candidates with a more traditional background opposite of what they had been screening for. Over 6 to 12 months, your hiring will get better. It'll get smarter because you're learning from your own outcomes. You stop repeating the same mistakes and you stop wasting time on interview signals that just don't matter. You start focusing on what actually predicts success within your company. Fewer bad hires equals less time rehiring for the same roles 6 months later. And this is how you get off the hamster wheel. Let's paint the picture of what your hiring looks like with AI. Let's say Monday morning, you open up your AI agent. It found 50 qualified candidates over the weekend based on the search that you had set up on Friday. So let's say you review them over coffee. It takes you about 15 minutes. You select the top 25 that you'd like to reach out to. AI can generate a personalized outreach sequence based on each person's background. You review and you edit them, which takes another 10 minutes or so. Your automation tool will now send out invitations throughout the week. So let's say from here, you've received 8 responses in which AI has already screened and ranked your top candidates. So you spend about 20 minutes reviewing these candidates and you flag about 6 that you'd like to conduct an interview with. You conduct your 6 interviews, and before each one, you spend just 2 minutes reviewing the AI generated brief. And after each interview, AI creates your structured summary. You just review and approve. So by Friday, end of week, your team is debriefing using the consistent AI summaries. You make a decision in less than 30 minutes. You extend your offer and they accept. And the total time spent on hiring that week is just a few hours instead of 20+ hours. Time to hire was 12 days instead of 45 days. And the quality of candidate is much better because you've reached passive talent and you've screened smarter. This is the new standard. Companies who are adopting AI in their hiring process are moving faster and they're hiring better. The gap between those who adapt and those who don't is widening by the month. So here's what I want you to do. Look at these 5 challenges that we talked about. Pick the one that's stealing the most amount of time from your week. Is it sourcing? Is it screening? Is it interview prep? Pick one and test one AI solution for 30 days. If it's sourcing, try an AI agent or set up a ChatGPT powered LinkedIn search. If it's screening, use AI to rank your next 50 resumes. And if it's interview consistency, then record and transcribe your next 5 interviews. Start small, measure the time saved, and then expand. You don't need to overhaul everything. You just need to start getting your time back. And to help you get started, I've put together a free resource below. I call it the Hiring Success Scorecard. Inside, you'll find which challenge is costing you the most amount of hours and specific AI tools for each challenge. The link is in the description. Go ahead and click below to get started. If this video brought you value, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so that we can make more content like this for you. Up next, watch the video where I break down how to conduct the perfect interview. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.